10.3 quotient of powers property. To divide powers, or I'm sorry, the quotient of powers property. To divide powers with the same base, subtract their exponents. 4 to the 5th power divided by 4 squared equals 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 divided by 4 times 4. These simplify to 1. So we have 4 to the 5th power minus 2, which is 4 to the 3rd power. Let's go ahead and try this. Dividing powers with the same base. Simplify the expression, write your answer as a power. So this is 2 to the 6 minus 4, which is 2 squared. Here we have the quantity, negative 7 to the 9 minus 3. This equals the quantity negative 7 to the 6th power. Letter C, h to the 7th minus 6, which is h to the 1st, or h. This answer you can write both ways, that part doesn't matter. Example 2, simplify an expression. Simplify, write your answer as a power. Alright, 3 to the 4th plus 2 divided by 3 to the 3rd. This one's a multi-step. I'm going to put my like terms in the numerator together first. So that's 3 to the 6th power divided by 3 to the 3rd. Now I'm dividing, so I know that I'm going to subtract the exponents, which will give me 3 to the 3rd power as my final answer. Example 3, we're going to simplify the expression. This one has multiple steps. Personally, I'm going to do my subtraction and then add my exponents. You could add across and then subtract, it's up to you. But I'm going to do a to the 10th minus 6 times a to the 7th minus 4. That's going to equal a to the 4th times a to the 3rd, which is a to the 4th plus 3, which then gives you a to the 7th power as your total answer. Let's continue. You have 9 on your own. Pause, then you can come back and check them. All right, 9 to the 7th minus 4 equals 9 to the 3rd. Letter G, 4 and 2/10 to the 6th minus 5. That is 4 and 2/10 to the 1st, or just 4 and 2/10. Either of them are acceptable answers. Letter H, we have the quantity negative 8 to the 8 minus 4th power. So the quantity negative 8 to the 4th power. Please keep that in parentheses. Letter I, x to the 8th minus 3 is x to the 5th. Letter J, well, before I do this, I'm going to take a step back just to make sure. I want to add the part in my denominator first. So 2 to the 15th stays in the numerator. 2 to the 3rd plus 5 equals 2 to the 15th divided by 2 to the 8th. That becomes 2 to the 15 minus 8, which equals 2 to the 7th power. Letter K, d to the 5th minus 1 times d to the 9 minus 8. So this is d to the 4th times d to the 1st, d to the 4 plus 1. This is d to the 5th power. All right, simplify the expression. 5 to the 9th minus 4 times 5 to the 5th minus 2. That's 5 to the 5th times 5 to the 3rd. I'm going to add the exponents, so that's 5 to the 8th power. Letter M. Ooh, this one has a much different setup, so I'm actually going to write it as 3 separate. 5 to the 12th divided by 5 to the 9th times c to the 10th divided by c to the 9th times d to the 1st divided by 1. I just separated it into my like terms. So that's going to be 5 to the 12th minus 9 times c to the 10th minus 9 times d to the 2nd. So that's 5 cubed c to the 1st, which I'm just going to write it as c, times d squared. All right, letter N. Well, first I got to distribute this 2 to both terms. So this is x to the 15th times 2 times y to the 9th times 2 divided by x squared times y to the 6th. So that's x to the 30th times y to the 18th divided by x squared times y to the 6th. I'm going to separate it into two fractions with my x's with one of them and my y's with the other. So that's x to the 30th minus 2 times y to the 18th minus 6. So that's x to the 18th, to the 28th, y to the 12th. All right, example 4, real life application. The projected population of Tennessee in 2030 is about 5 times 5 and 9/10 to the 8th power. Predict the average number of people per square mile in 2030. So the land area is 5 and 9/10 to the 6th power square miles. So I'm going to take 5 times 5 and 9/10 to the 8th and divide it by 5 and 9/10 to the 6th. Make them into two fractions. 5 divided by 1 times 5 and 9/10 to the 8th divided by 5 and 9/10 to the 6th. So that's 5 divided by 1 times 5 and 9/10 to the 8 minus 6. So that's 5 times 5 and 9/10 to the 2nd power. This equals 174 and 5/10. So when the question says predict the average number of people per square mile in 2030, one thing we can guarantee is you can't have part of a person. No, we're not talking about, arms or feet or anything being lost or anything. So about 174 people, per square mile. Great job. Go work on big ideas.